Hello, I'm Kimberlie Acosta. Welcome to the Native News Update on Wednesday, June 9th. Many of the stories you hear here can be found at our website, IndianCountryNews.com. And here's the news for the day from the Associated Press and other Native news sources. The town of Grand Bayou, Louisiana has no streets and no cars, just water and boats. And now the Deepwater Horizon oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico threatens the very existence of the Atakapa-Ishak Indians who live there. We're facing the potential for cultural genocide, says one tribal member. Just recovered from Hurricane Katrina, the oil from the BP Deepwater Horizon well now threatens this community where everyone gets around by boat. For decades, the Atakapa and other native groups there have adapted to the loss of the wetlands, the encroachment of the oil and gas industry, and hurricanes. But the latest spill could be the final straw. Fishing and shrimping is at a standstill, and the oil keeps creeping into the marshes. The largest oil spill in U.S. history is killing wildlife, contaminating beaches and marshes, closing fishing waters, and threatening an entire way of life. Tens of millions of gallons of crude have spewed into the Gulf of Mexico since the BP rig exploded April 20th and sank 2 days later. Coastal Louisiana is closest to ground zero. Its fragile wetlands and beaches are oiled, and wildlife faces possible mass die-offs. But on the top of the ecological disaster, unique cultures of the people living in Louisiana's bayous could also vanish. Visitors interested in South Dakota's Native American culture have an updated resource to direct them to tribal lands and attractions. The recently revised Great Sioux Nation Tribal Guide is available online at travelsd.com. The guide lists tribal attractions, events, restaurants, accommodations, shops, services, and features on each of the 9 tribal reservations in South Dakota. The Great Sioux Nation Travel Guide is also available limited supply at each of the South Dakota's visitor centers. Notah Begay III, a 4-time PGA Tour winner, announced the 12-player field for the 3rd annual Notah Begay III Foundation Challenge. Earlier today, I caught up with Noah via telephone to talk with him about the challenge and his foundation. Here at Indian Country TV, and we wanted to talk to you about your foundation challenge. Could you tell us about that?
Yeah, well, what do you want to know about it?
I want you to share with everyone when it's going to happen and where it's going to happen and what it's about.
Yeah, it's going to be on August. We're in our 3rd year, so this is our third event, and it's going to be on August 31st at the Adunyot Golf Course on the Oneida Indian Reservation in upstate New York. And it's an event we're extremely proud of. Last year, in one day, we raised over $1 million, and we're projected to raise over $1 million this year for the foundation, which is focused primarily on Native American youth sports and leadership. And so it certainly has become probably the biggest Native youth fundraiser in the country, and we're very, very proud of that.
And this year's tournament has changed compared to the past ones. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, in the past we played what was called a traditional skins format, and this year we're going to a mixed pair format where we're going to pair top LPGA players with top PGA Tour players, and we've got most notably probably Annika Sorenstam is going to come out of retirement to play in our event, as is Lorena Ochoa. So they're 2 former #1 players and probably the 2 most dominant players in golf in the last 50 years. So we're extremely excited to have them, this new format, and to provide a little bit of an alternative as far as what the golf fans are able to see, and so for anybody that comes out, I think they're really going to enjoy themselves.
And you guys just did groundbreaking on a soccer field. Do you want to share with us about that?
Yeah, we're the focal point of our foundation is to address childhood obesity and type 2 diabetes through the administering of youth sports programs with an emphasis on sustainability. And one of the biggest, two of the biggest steps that we took in the last year is we first formulated a strategic partnership with Johns Hopkins University. So they're helping us design and implement studies and research so that we're able to design our programs around distinct evidence, like hard evidence. And that's going to allow us to use our resources more efficiently and be more effective in isolating the key components to trying to ensure that our children, Native youth, have healthy futures. And another component of that is facilities and infrastructure. And if you could have a whole community of Native kids that want to play soccer, basketball, or any other sport, but there's no facilities. And so, we broke ground on a $750,000 soccer field last month, and it should be completed probably at least 2 or 3 weeks prior to the challenge. So we're going to have some pictures for everybody to see, and hopefully some video. And it's an exciting time, and it's a very fast-growing period for our foundation, which it is challenging in a lot of ways, but it's also very inspiring in others.
What reservation is that on?
The Pueblo of San Felipe, just north of Albuquerque.
And do you have a website where people can go to learn more about the Notah Begay III Foundation?
Yeah, they can go to, I believe it's nb3foundation.org.
Okay, and if you can leave us with any message on what you're doing, what would that be?
Well, to realize that type 2 diabetes and obesity are preventable, and that we're taking the steps and measures to try and raise money and create programs that directly address these issues and get our kids involved in healthy activities. There's so many distractions and challenges in their lives that it's nice to have a positive alternative for them to turn towards that not only will benefit them long term, but will also make their community stronger.
Well, thank you for taking some time to talk with us today, and good luck with everything with your tournament and the groundbreaking.
Oh, thanks so much.
And that's the latest roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of the Native News Update. I'd like to thank you for joining me, and have a grand day.